Hey, it's Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and it is Wednesday. It's February 7th. This will be our chart lesson for the day, and it was a relatively straightforward day. It's still some high volatility in here, but nothing like what we've been having. It really started to get volatile right after lunchtime when we started swinging in no direction, and then the big sell-off. And I mean, this is really straightforward. Nice two-tier channel break, two measured legs up to a new high. Um, there's your break right there, and leg up, and then you get another basically perfect measured leg up. So that was really straightforward. And then of course it sails off, and we got a two-tier channel working down. We get a break with a couple of legs down. Then you get a little reversal here. Just what you'd expect, really straightforward. Close outside new high, and then the bottom just fell out. So the price action would have kept you on the right side if you're reading it properly. The trades were fairly straightforward through about where I marked here. And then after that's when it really, right after lunchtime, is when it started to kind of get haywire again. But still, if you notice, still, even then, the price action is playing out really till almost 3 o'clock. And that's when it just kind of, it's like nobody knows what to do at the close almost, or either they're coming in to sell it off. Again, maybe they're trying to get out while there's a little bit of a rally before the market closes. Who knows what's really going on there. But yeah, it was pretty straightforward. So I didn't mark anything after lunchtime. I want to talk about a couple of other things real quickly. First of all, this comes up occasionally. Every so often, we have to go over this point of view. And but somebody had made a comment that about me deleting their comments or something, their negative comments, and that I only allow positive comments. Well, first of all, let me say I don't review the YouTube comments, but about once every 2 or 3 weeks. I don't go in and answer them every day unless there's something that just sticks out at me that jumps out. I just happen to notice it. But generally, I only monitor those every 2 or 3 weeks, and then I'll go through. And if there's something worth answering, and it's not old, I'll try to answer it. But generally don't answer specific trade questions there. If you want something like that, send me an email. It's much easier. And but somebody made the comment that I was deleting their comments. And first of all, I don't really look at those comments very often, and I do not delete comments. So if there's a missing comment, it wasn't because I deleted it. I can assure you of that. I do not delete. I'm probably one of the few YouTubers that let people post whatever's on their mind. And generally, we don't have a whole lot of problems, but every now and then somebody will come in and start complaining. And generally, those people have an agenda, and they're either traders that cannot trade and they think nothing works, and they just want to cause trouble, or their agenda is they're trying to sell something or teach something of their own, and they don't agree with what we do. And I mean, there's no way in the world I'd ever go over to somebody else's channel and try to say their system didn't work, even if it didn't work. I don't, that's none of my business. I'm only worried about what we do and what I have here. And the only people that do stuff like that are people that want to cause trouble. So I'm not saying the poster that posted this stuff that's their intent, but where I'm going with this, when I thought, well, maybe his comments that he was looking for that were missing were uh, held by YouTube, because YouTube will hold your comments, and there's always 15 or 20 messages sitting in there waiting on me to look at them and improve them for different reasons. They either have curse words, or there's a lot of, they look like they're spam or something of that nature. So generally you can tell when somebody's trying to lure you over to their channel, because it looks like spam. And YouTube will rat it out pretty quickly, and they hold it, and I have to actually go in and approve it before they'll allow it. So there's a lot of times there might be 15 or 20 or more messages sitting in there waiting on me to do something with them, and I may or may not approve them. I may not even get to them, because I only go look at that stuff, like I said, every 2 or 3 weeks. So I do not delete people's messages, though, is the one message I want to get across. But while I'm over there looking at the other messages, there's one particular poster. I won't even call his name because I don't know what his intentions are. but he's got several posts in there. They don't seem like they're constructive. It seems like he's maybe trying to start trouble, but he brings up the why don't I show my trades? Why don't I post my trades? And we've hashed this over many times. I've explained why I don't. This is not about my trading. Nothing I could put my trades up here, nothing but my trades every day, but that's not going to change your trading or help your trading in any way. That's not the purpose of these videos. And if you read the disclaimer, it tells you the purpose of the videos. The purpose of these videos are just simply for people that are trying to learn price action to get a bearing, a look at what I do to see if they're on the right track. That's all these videos are for, to show you the trades that you could have found and help you learn to find them. That's what we're trying to do here. It's not about me. It's not about my trading. It has nothing to do with that. And, I could put my trades up here, but it's not going to help you become a better trader in any way. What are my trades going to help? The only people that really want to see those for the most part are people that want to say, "Hey, prove that you're a trader. Prove that you can do this, or prove you can do that." It's just it's it's a it's just to call it's just to stir up trouble and say. I guess the words I'm looking for is it's for validation for them is what it's for. It's not to help anybody's trading. It's just to validate their thought process, to validate their uh, their needs. So I'm not here to validate people's needs. I'm here to help people learn how to find these trades. That's the only thing I'm trying to do here. So at some point I may quit trading, and so but I may still continue to teach this stuff I'm, if I'm bored, if I want to, or if I'm just still in the mood. I hadn't decided. I may just quit doing this and just trade. I mean, I'm gonna swing one way or the other before long because it just gets to be too much for me. And at some point, sometimes I start to feel burnout, especially when people come in and complain. And I mean, if you don't like what we're doing or you don't agree with it, just go find another channel where you can find what you do need or what you do agree with. I just don't understand why people want to say, hey, hang around the channel and constantly belittle what we're trying to do. If you're not happy or you don't like it, just don't come to the channel. I mean, I'm not trying to run anybody off. I'm not trying to offend anybody. I just, there's just no sense in having to put up with people that are just here to stir the pot, to cause trouble. And I know that just comes with the territory, so I never say much about it. The only reason I'm bringing it up is because there's this poster was claiming that I was deleting his post, and I'm not. So, and don't get this wrong, I don't remember this poster ever making any negative post because you'll see his comment. So, maybe he has made some negative comments. I don't remember. So this isn't really directed at him per se. It was just looking into his stuff that got me to seeing these other posts that were being held by YouTube. And it's funny that YouTube held them. I didn't hold them. I didn't delete them. YouTube held them. So YouTube didn't like them either. So it isn't just me, trying to pick out somebody and pick on them or anything. And like I said, I'm not going to call his name anyway. I don't believe that's probably his real name to begin with. He only uses his first name. It's probably just some name he uses, a username or something that he uses but it doesn't really matter. So, but anyway, I just wanted to clarify again because we hadn't talked about it in a long time. This is not about my trading. I don't want to put my trades on here. One of the main reasons I don't want to put my trades on here is because the minute that I decide I'm going to record a trade and I know people are going to look at it at the end of the day, it changes my thinking. It makes me think differently than I do when I'm just trading. And so it automatically affects my trading. And it's not usually in a good way, it's in a negative way because I start thinking, well, this might be a little bit too aggressive and I don't want to make a video, see that on it, and I don't want to, it may become a loser that I don't want people to see, or it may be a trade that I really wouldn't put on my regular chart lesson, but I think I'm going to be aggressive and take it. And so it changes everything. And so it's not beneficial for me to post my trades every day. So I just don't do it. It's just a rule of mine. I'm not going to post my trades, and you can ask me 1,000 times and I'm not going to post them. and that's just the way it is. Maybe I'll think about it at some point. I'll post them randomly so that I'm not thinking about it ahead of time, and I could go back and maybe say, okay, I'll show my trades from yesterday or whatever. I'll consider that, but I don't have time to come in here and prove every other week that what we do works. You either believe in it and you watch it and you see it and do it, or you don't. And so, again, I didn't mean to get off on a tangent, but I just felt like it was time to bring that up. And I did want to clarify too that I don't delete posts on the comments. I could just disable the comments. I know a lot of YouTubers just disable the comments, but I don't want to do that. I want people to be able to post their comments and talk about them and so forth, and have conversation about trades and videos and whatever. So I'm trying to be um, I'm trying to be as transparent as possible, and make it as easy as possible, as fair as possible for everybody. So, maybe I ought to just disable the comments. I don't know. I don't really want to do that. So I just I just let it go for now. But I just wanted to make sure everybody understands that I don't delete any comments. If your comment's not there, it's probably being held by YouTube um, for my approval. And some of them YouTube just automatically completely deletes. I don't know what they're I don't know why or how they do it or why it happens. Maybe it's a glitch when some of them just disappear. I don't know, but I can assure you I don't delete anybody's post. I may not approve them if sometimes when YouTube holds them, um, and sometimes I may not see them for 2 or 3 weeks when YouTube holds them. So sometimes your post may not be there, and they may show up 2 or 3 weeks later. And there may be a question or something, like I said, and by that time, it's not worth going back and rehashing and even trying to answer it. So if you have a specific trading question that you feel is important enough that you want to send me an email, and I'll answer it. I always answer my emails. I get to them, sometimes it takes me a day or so, but generally within 24 hours I answer most emails. It's very rare that I don't, except maybe over the weekend. Sometimes I just don't answer email because I got to get away from this stuff. I got to have a break every now and then. So between doing what I have to do, sometimes I put those weekend questions aside and don't answer them until I can get to them on Monday. Monday. And on Mondays I may be a day behind, so it may be Tuesday. So, but other than that, Monday through Friday I usually answer emails, within 24 hours. So, but that's enough on that. We're already 12 minutes in this. I hadn't even talked about the trades, and I got some other things I want to talk about. I've gotten a lot of emails and a lot of questions about stops and the 2-point rule. Really, in this, okay, sorry, I had a little interruption there. We're talking about the 2-point rule. In this kind of volatility, it's almost impossible to beat the 2-point rule. So you got a couple of different options. You can either sit on the sidelines, which is probably not a bad idea for most traders, new traders anyway. Just don't trade live. Make sure you're only sim trading. If you've only been trading live for a short period of time, I'd say less than a year, just sit on the sidelines and sim trade. Don't be trading live. That's probably the easiest, most simple answer. But if you want to take trades, you're going to have to probably switch gears a little bit, and you have to put your stops where they go. Let me back out here a little bit, just as an example. If you enter right here, your stop has to go below that low, below that low, below that one, below that low. And if you can't get in there within 2 points, then you either have to skip the trade, or what you might do is say, okay, the volatility's higher. I got to put my stop where it goes. So if it takes a 3 or 4 point stop, then maybe I got to go for 3 or 4 points on my profit today. I got to change gears there. And look at these trades. Look at every one of these key entry point moves. Look at that one. You have no problem getting 3 or 4 points in a very short period of time. Look at that one. It takes off like a rocket every time. And even the ones that didn't go very far, they're quick, easy scalps. Look at that one take off. Look at this one takes off. Doesn't go this far, but I mean, easy to get three or 4 points out of that. I don't know how big that bar is. Let's just see how big that bar is. That bar is 12. That's a 3-point bar. So you probably want to try to get 3 or 4 points, which you could have got out of that. Same thing coming out. Look how it takes off coming down every single time. Look how it rockets off. So you don't have any problem getting more points out of these. So to put your stop where it goes, you got to have more room, and you got to probably go for a little more profit. Either that or sit on the sidelines. I really don't recommend trying to jump in here with a stop and leaving your point, because look, you would have backed up and probably stopped you out on a 2 point right there, only to watch it rocket off. So I do not recommend sticking, putting your stop somewhere in the middle of the signal bar. It's just not a very good idea. You're going to get stopped out on perfectly good trades. So I don't recommend that. You can try it if you want, but make sure you're on sim, because most likely you're going to get stopped out on a good trade anyway. So just make sure you're on sim trade if you want to try it and see how it works out for you. I can tell you I've already tried it over the years and I already know the answer. So, I'm not going to recommend it because it doesn't work. So, but a lot of times people have to try it for themselves. So get on the simulator, try it for yourself, and see how it works out for you. On the ones that take off straight off, you're probably good. Like right here, you'd probably be good taking off on that. This one probably would have come back and got you. This one, you probably would have come back and got your stop. So, um, again, try it yourself. But, and that leads to another thing. There's a lot, usually you will not have any slippage in the ES during regular trading hours. When it's this volatile, and it runs straight down and straight up and straight down and straight up, they've cleared out there's no old resting orders there. There's no resting orders that have been there for days or even hours probably. So you're going to see more slippage. Somebody wrote to me today and they had slippage, but it was to their advantage. It was a 2 tick slippage to their advantage. Usually it's not going to be to your advantage. It's usually, if it's on the entry, you might enter your stop maybe 1 tick above the signal bar, and it may jump up because see how fast that moved, and you may not get filled for 3 or 4 ticks, and so you lose 2 or 3 ticks, and then you scalp out at 4. Then you probably, I've actually had, not in the ES but in other markets, I've actually had my stop in the right place. Just say I was going to buy here. Let me back out where this is and explain this to you. Let's say I was going to buy 1 tick above this bar, and I got my buy stop there, and I got my system automated. So what happened was it jumped up and it gapped up and it stopped me in, and it actually hit my safety stop before it hit the exit stop. It actually gapped over. I'm trying to remember exactly how it happened. I think, but somehow the trade did exactly what I expected it to, but I still got stopped out on a loss. And you talk about frustrating. I mean, imagine entering on a stop here and doing that, but yet somehow you get stopped out on it. And so I think what happens is the slippage was so much that it went past my exit entry. So I entered past my exit entry, and then instantly it exited me. That's what happened. That's exactly how it happened. So I probably had 4 or 5 ticks of slippage, and then instantly I'm stopped out, and so I take a point loss basically. So you don't want that to happen to you. So you will get more slippage in this market. So be careful with your 4 tick scalp if you're using your automated system, because that could happen. It probably won't happen like that in the ES. I was trading a currency futures. It seemed like it was maybe it was I think it was the yen or it was something like that. But it was one of the currencies. I can't remember exactly which one. I used to trade a lot of those currencies in the futures, and it was one of those. So that can happen to you. What else do I want to talk about? We talked about the reason I do these videos already. I got myself a few little notes here. And again, just going back to that, not to beat a dead horse, but if you don't think what we do is, if you don't like what we do, just don't participate and find the strategy or somebody else on YouTube that's teaching something you won't like or what you want to do. But I think the real issue is most of the people that complain and do that have an agenda. And they either have their own thing they're trying to teach, or there's something they're trying to sell, and it's usually either that, or they're horrible traders that can't ever win and they think nobody can win. That's what usually happens in those situations. Okay, I'm sorry. My phone is just ringing off the hook. My daughter has cheer tonight, and I'm supposed to be going, and so half my family's calling about going to watch her cheer tonight. So I apologize. My youngest daughter's still in school, and so we're still doing the school things with my youngest daughter. So, but anyway, again, I didn't want to beat a dead horse, but you know, I guess what I'm asking is just, play nice. And if you don't like what we do, then go find somewhere that you like it. And, I just don't see any purpose um, to be negative. And if you got something you disagree or you want to ask me about, send something to me directly and I'll answer it. And I'll leave it at that. So, but anyway, I was going to talk about these trades, and I'm pressed for time to get out of here to make it to my daughter's cheer competition tonight. So I'm going to just quickly run through a few of these trades, and I'm going to wrap it up. But we came in at 7 o'clock. We're really going sideways here, and it was kind of quiet. We traded up into this, so you'd figure we may get another leg out the other side. We had a little failed break lower here. It's a second entry long. I didn't like this one because we weren't back to the trend line, but it still fits our criteria. And if you go long there, you would have gotten filled. You would have got your scalp. And this is a good example of why we go for 4 ticks, because if you'd have went for any more, you wouldn't have scalped out and would have come back and stopped you out before it went higher again. So that's a great example of why we go. There's just enough room to get out there before it backs up. Then it drops lower again. Again, we're not back to the trend line, so I'm not crazy about this trade, but again, it fits our criteria. You might consider going long there, and you're just looking for prices to come back this other side, and we may get another leg up, and you may get a big trend like we did get. So those are both aggressive, but I like them. We come back to the trend line finally here, but we're still inside this range. You don't want to go long. You need a breakout pullback, and notice what happens. This is basically a double bottom. So first entry short, second entry short, and it turns up. So that's a failed second entry short, breakout pullback long. That's what you want to see. Finding support up here, and then there we go. And I didn't measure these, but I'm guessing if you measure, that first leg is probably about like that. And then if you measure up right there, look at there, perfect measured leg. So you got a perfect measured leg out the other side. And then of course we back up. And I got this a little bit high right there somehow. It should be right down there like that. I must have bumped it or something. And notice we turn down, we're working down, we get a break. 2 legs to a new low. That's your first break after a fairly nice trend up. So I like going long right there. It's a second entry long. Notice that new high, it's higher than that one. First entry, second entry. Nice small bar, relatively straightforward. And if you catch that one, you can ride this. And then look what happens, another 2-legged pullback, EMA trend line. Now you're looking for a second leg up, off it goes. And this is really 2 legs in the first leg, and you get a correction and you get that second leg. So it still fits the criteria, but you don't know here, so you got to play this correction out. And you might have considered going short here, but I don't really see a good setup that I like, so you don't really get a chance to go short so much. You might have treated that like a first entry, failed second entry long, and if you did, it would have worked. So you might argue for that one to be a short right there. And there's a lower high right here, but it's right into the lows right there. And then, of course, that's just a first entry, so I don't like that one. Of course, this is a first entry going short right at the low. And this is not really a failed second entry long at that point. So, but notice your close outside here too, and you've already got a new low, so you're really looking to go the other direction again now. So you got that going for you as well. I think I skipped over a couple of trades here. Um, Second entry long, and then notice that's a new low, so there's a failed second entry long, another, and it's a second entry long counting off the highs, a failed second entry short, and a fairly bullish bar right off that short-term trend line, another easy scalp. Um, you get a break here, move to a new high. It's just a first entry, so I think you got to wait. You actually get a lower high here. I'm not crazy because we're still inside that trend line, so I'm not crazy about getting short until you get that failure there. We already talked about these. You got your break of this little channel, two legs to a new low, a higher low, fairly bullish bar. So I like going long there just to see if you get a scalp, and man, it takes off. And you try to go lower. This turns out to be a little breakout. There's actually a scalp and uh, spiking channel here, rather. Let me get that on there. And so I like this one here just simply because it's a breakout pullback and we're still working higher. And this is looking like it is close to this trend line here, but I traded this. This is a double bottom really right here. So first entry short, second entry short. So it's like a failed second entry short and a breakout pullback long. So that's why I liked it. I figure you're probably going to have some trap longs here or shorts here trying to pick the top, and off it goes. Uh, this shoots down. This is really tempting here. I missed this one right here. This one's really tempting, but I think you need to wait and see if you get another attempt to go higher and to confirm this trend line, and that comes right here. So I like going short there, even though it's right into the low, because it's a trap, a failed second entry long, and you really could have argued for that one. I'm going to make it green though. But this was the trade here, and I'd be looking for a measured leg down at this point. First leg, and then second leg. And you can see we actually overshot that some. We went past that. And you actually overshoot this channel. You get a close outside. You try to go lower here. There's a failed second entry short right here. It's not really a failure because you had enough, but with this volatility, you could probably still treat that like one. And it would have worked if you went long there, but I'd wait, and then you get a double test and a really bullish bar. So now I like going long there because now you've got a little more reason to think, to be going long. And of course you're just kind of going sideways. There's not really a good trend line. There's one here, and you do get a break and a new high, but it's more up and down. You can see that fits, so it's definitely valid, but it's more sideways and up and down here. And so this was like a failed break, but you need to wait on that lower high, which comes here. And I just wasn't crazy about that one yet. We've got the break here. We've got a new high because we're still above the EMA. So wait on that reversal, and that doesn't come to here. And by that time, you're right back into this support area. So again, I was a little hesitant. You can argue for that one. That's one of those that could go either way. I'll go ahead and mark it green. But the reason I don't like it being red, and the reason I'm a little leery of it, is in this volatile market, going short right into all that support is not a good thing. But look what happens. It pushes through, comes back and tests it, and it confirms that shorter term trend line. And you can treat this like a failed second entry long. So now I like it. And then of course you get another second entry short right here. Really it's a failed second entry long. Or it's just two legs back to the, it's not really even a failed second entry long. It's two, well, it is. Let me back up because that's not a new high. So it's not a failed second entry long, but it's just two legs back to the EMA. And this bar is too bullish, but you got this big bearish one. So I like going short right there. one tick below that one, and you might use a limit order here, let it break lower, and try to get back a little bit from that support that's kind of starting to grow right there. Um, this one was right into that double bottom, so I really thought we should have taken off by then. But you got a new high, pull back first entry, pull back second entry. This, so, but again, it's down here at this low, and it's down here at this low, and at that point, this is looking like the channel here. You don't. So until we push through and pull back and test it, this is like a little breakout pullback that comes back and retests this breakout area. Um, and that is really your two measured legs down. And so this looks more like a failed second entry long than this really does, because that's just like a little tick up. But it's still, you can treat that as one. Um, but this is your true failed second entry long right here. And this one I meant to make green. I'm just not 100% on board with that one for the reasons I just explained. It is a little breakout pullback though, but this is the better one. That's more like a failed second entry long, because now you got two legs down, and you should go higher there, and you don't. So you know you're probably going to continue on lower, and your entry would be below this bar. And what I'd probably do is let it break lower here, drop a limit order back where it'd be one tick below that, and then your stop goes above that. And so that's a way you might could get in and still be within the 2-point rule, but I think that bar is bigger than 2 points. Most all these bars are going to be. So now it's starting to get a little risky. We had the break, and we've had two legs down now, and another little push down. Usually you'll reverse from that, but you got to think, hey, we may be moving that measured move, and you find this distance here and get the equal distance, and look where we bounce. And again, it's starting to get volatile in here, and so I just didn't mark anything else today. It still played out. This bar is huge, but I wouldn't have had any problem going short right there. Then you're working back up, and you're just really going sideways here, and it's really starting to get volatile. And then it just went haywire, probably from about 120 on. So, so I didn't mark anything else. But this is a 30-minute video. I didn't mean for this to be this long. I didn't really mean to get off so far on the tangent earlier, but I just want to clarify. I just wanted to clarify that stuff. So I hope that wasn't too much. I apologize for having to even talk about stuff like that, and when all we need to really be talking about is trading. But unfortunately, it's part of what we do here, and there's always going to be naysayers out there and people that disagree with what you do. And if you feel that way, that's your right. And I'm not even going to. All I'm going to tell you is that rather than cause trouble here, just go to where you feel comfortable and where you do like what they do, and leave it at that. So, but I'm going to wrap it up. We'll be back again to do it tomorrow. This is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.